Faith is such an important part of Christian doctrine. We depend on faith, but faith is something that it has to be learned as we go. And I've said this in the book that I wrote, that Abraham, when he was young, was not the father of faith. He became the father of faith as he lived life and he walked with God. And that's the same thing with all of us. We walk with God, we learn, we grow, we're able to exercise our faith and demonstrate our faith. And to be able to say that I am Abraham's children. In Galatians chapter 3, the Apostle Paul just does a magnificent job of revealing this to us about being Abraham's children and walking in faith, but also learning about faith. And matter of fact, he starts this third chapter of the book of Galatians when he says, "Oh, foolish Galatians, who has bewitched you?" And I read that and I thought, wow, that's an interesting statement. Who has bewitched you, he said. Well, he says that you should not obey the truth, before whose eyes Jesus Christ has been evidently set forth, crucified among you. So he's referring back to his early days with the church in Galatia, where he would begin to just speak to them about faith, speak to them about grace, bringing them to this place where they'd understand that the Christian walk, or the faith walk, is a walk where you walk arm in arm, hand in hand, heart to heart with God, to where he is every day teaching us and molding us and making us and causing us to be able to grow in this thing called faith. And so the thing that I want to make sure that I am pointing out to all of my radio listeners, those who are listening on the podcast, is that we will grow in our faith when we exercise our faith, and the more we learn exactly what faith is. And so as we go through this chapter of the Bible this week, you'll find the Apostle Paul makes great elaboration about the difference between trying to find faith through the law and faith through the promise. Abraham walked in the promise. Thus, those of us who would follow that example, then we would say, yes, we are Abraham's children. Because we didn't learn it by just following every rite of the law. No, we've learned it from hearing the voice of God and responding to it. This is Pastor Jack King with the Gospel on the Radio Talk Show.